The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Women's health, tourism, and more on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. You come out and visit the garden. We'll tell you more about them later on. And later on is when the roundtable shows up. We'll get into all sorts of controversial topics, so don't go away. We have great guests, important information coming to you throughout the program. But where we want to start is talking about tourism. And we do it with a newcomer to the area. Stephanie Pace Brown is president of Visit Winston-Salem. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Before I get to your newness, I want to first let you just remind everybody, in case they just moved into the area, just basically what is Visit Winston-Salem? People might want to know.
Visit Winston-Salem is, how we're best known, but we're the Forsyth County Tourism Development Authority. And so the state law that established the occupancy tax also established a TDA to oversee the investment of those funds to further the development of travel and tourism in the county.
Right. Now we're going to circle back to your newness, because I'm kidding you, because you might be new to Winston-Salem and new to this area, but not new to the tourism industry. You led efforts in Alexandria, Virginia, and in Asheville, North Carolina. You've done it all. So I guess my question is, why? What attracted you to this area, to this job, and what prepared you for it?
Great question. I'm so happy to be back in North Carolina and feel so fortunate to have received a phone call asking me to apply for the job here in Winston-Salem. What attracted me to the job is, obviously, Winston-Salem has so much to offer, not only as a place to live, but a great place to visit. But I think there's also, a next generation of tourism marketing and the development of tourism in the area so that it continues to grow, and how beneficial it is to the people who live here. I've had a really fortunate career. I've worked for some of the nation's iconic historic attractions at Mount Vernon, the home of George Washington,
right,
and Colonial Williamsburg. And, and I've also, really learned how to develop tourism and attract visitors through experiences leading the efforts for Alexandria, Virginia, and Asheville, North Carolina.
We don't have anything like Mount Vernon here, but we have my home if people want to visit. No, we don't. You can't do that. What's so special about Winston-Salem, do you think?
Well, I think really what makes it shine is the people. We offer great things for visitors to do, and that's really important, but the way that it's delivered with Southern hospitality and charm, is a differentiator for us. So, I call it destination credibility. We have the things that people want to do, when they're recreating and, they're just enjoying leisure time away. We also have great meetings and convention assets and sports assets.
Right.
So we have really the foundation. Visit Winston-Salem, has a great foundation. Rich Geiger is somebody that I've respected for a long time and have known professionally, did a great job, and really laid the foundation for us to go to the next level.
There was a report that came out recently. I don't know the name of it, but you can help me understand something, the implications of it. And it talked about, if I'm not forgetting this, it talked about the numbers of tourists that come through our area, how much money they spend, that kind of thing. What do we glean from that report?
Yeah, every year the state of North Carolina issues the economic impact of visitor spending for all of the counties. And so we had a 19% increase between 21 and 22. We were part of the resurgence of visiting urban areas. So it tells us that, we're at the beginning of another upswing. We've grown. We were at just under $1 billion of visitor spending at our local businesses
Wow.
in 2022, and I'm absolutely certain that we can continue to grow that number.
Well, we're just about out of time. I want to put something up on screen here. VisitWinstonSalem.com is the general website for that. I hope folks will check that out, and what I really hope is that you will come back so we can talk about your vision for the future, what you want to do with tourism, and some things that are going on. So will you come back?
I'll come back anytime.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jim.
Thanks. We'll be right back after this.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food and Nutrition Services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Back now on Triad Today, everybody talks about the weather. Nobody does anything about it. You've heard that. We're going to do something about it right now. With me, two good friends of ours. Well, one good friend. I don't know. One of them's a friend. Hank Henning is manager of local government community relations for Duke Energy. I'm just kidding. Hank's been with us before. So glad you could be here.
Thanks for
the
having
reason
me.
I was stumbling there for a second is because I want you to introduce the special guest and why he has something to do with weather and why Duke Energy has something to do with weather. What's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jim. So Max Thompson from our meteorological team is joining us for a really exciting program, I think, because a lot of people don't realize we have our own team of meteorologists on staff,
Right,
who really help us to do predictive modeling for forecasting, storm preparation, and so forth. And there's a lot of stuff people don't realize about all the hard work that goes into that. And we couldn't do what we do to restore power without guys like Max helping us figure out how do we prepare for that.
That's so neat. I had no idea. So Max, help me understand, what is it exactly that you provide to, say, Hank and his team or to the folks at Duke Energy in general?
Sure. So every day, much like the meteorologists that you watch on TV, we're providing temperature forecasts. But the difference between, I would say, what we do is we're tailoring it to how Duke Energy needs in terms of planning for how much air conditioning use we need, how much heating we have to account for on a really cold morning. So
there's a real economic model to that then.
There's a forecast model not only for weather, but also forecasting how much customer demand we're going to have for today, tomorrow, and out through 7 days. And we're getting an idea of what kind of generation we need for that.
Hurricane on a lot of people's mind. There's been devastation in various parts of our country, other countries. What's your prediction, if that's the right term, for hurricane season and what might be coming up later?
So we just had Hurricane Idalia. I was on site down in Florida for that storm. That reached a peak of Category 4. So we are above and ahead of schedule in terms of where we would be on average. So looking out into the Atlantic, we've got Tropical Storm Lee right now. That is projected to be a major hurricane by this weekend, and that could potentially give some people some heartburn from the Outer Banks northward into New England late next week. So that's something we'll keep an eye on.
There's always residual and indirect effect, even if we're sitting here and say, well, I'm sorry for the people in this state or that state, but it's not going to affect me. Well, if the winds come through here and knock the power lines down, then all of a sudden we've got something that have to be dealt with. Looking ahead, any connections to El Nino with the coming winter?
So past El Ninos that we've seen, we typically see a very warm and mild winter here in the Carolinas. Most recently was 2015, 2016, where we enjoyed 70 and 80 degree weather around Christmas time. So right now, looking forward, that's kind of what we're planning on. Not every El Nino behaves the same. So it is possible to see some cold weather. But right now, I would lean more toward a mild and warm winter here in the Carolinas.
I'm just curious, since you and I never met until you just came on the show today, what led you to a career in meteorology? I mean, was it something you thought was neat in school or what?
Yeah, you know, every meteorologist has kind of that story that kind of sparked their interest in the weather. Mine, growing up in Pennsylvania, was really severe weather. There was a particular storm going back when maybe I was 6 or 7, but really what drew me was the snowfall. Being from the north and from Pennsylvania, I know we don't get snow here a whole lot, but in particular, the President's Day storm of 2000, we had 2.5 feet in the backyard of my house, and I was fascinated ever since. Hurricane Isabel was another catalyst as well. And ever since then in middle school, I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Did you set up little weather stations in your yard as a kid?
I did. We didn't have Amazon back then, so it was a little harder to find them and come across those apparatuses. But we did on off, and I would put up anometers and very rudimentary rain gauges in the backyard.
Hank, as we wrap up, how much do you rely on Max, and why is it such a benefit to the community?
Oh, it's absolutely critical to be able to prepare and kind of know what's coming. And like I said, resource deployment is huge. Like for this last hurricane, we want to send as many crews as we can to the problem areas, but we also have to make sure that we're taking care of home front first. So we rely on them heavily to tell us when the storm is safely past us so we can deploy those resources like we did down to Florida, South Carolina, and other parts of North Carolina.
Absolutely. Now, up on screen, duke-energy.com is the general website, or I might just give you Max's home phone, and then every day you can just call him in the morning and ask him what it's. No, I won't do that. I won't do that. You wouldn't mind, but I'm not going to do it.
Wouldn't mind, yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks again.
We'll be right back after this.
When storms hit, we're here for you. With new grid technology that can reroute power to avoid outages, and better communication to keep you in the know. And as we transition to a cleaner energy future, we'll still be here for you, keeping your costs down even as we work to expand renewables and explore new energy sources. We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Back now on Triad Today, and what could be better and more joyous than bringing a new life into the world? And we have a lady with us that knows all about that. With me now is Joy Gilman, Director of Women's Health Services at Northern Regional Hospital's Birthing Center. Good to see you.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Let's talk about this email that I got from you, because I want to understand it. You had some initials, LDRP. You said we have an LDRP model of care. What does that stand for, and what does it mean for expectant families?
So an LDRP model of care, LDRP stands for Labor, Delivery, Recovery, Postpartum.
Now I got you.
And what it means for families is that you aren't moved around during the birthing process. You are actually able to stay in the same room the entire stay.
Yeah, you're not carted around on gurneys
Correct.
and from 3 or 4 different places.
Yes, a lot of places after you deliver, about an hour afterward, you are moved to a postpartum unit. And at Northern, you're able to stay in the same unit, be cared for by the same people, which makes the care just great.
See the same faces when you
Yes.
after that. I think that's great. What a great
Yes.
system. Now, what's the hospital doing to ensure safe and high quality care to patients?
We are always concerned about, helping moms and babies get into the world safely and moms having a great experience. One of the things that we're really working hard on and that we've been working hard on is reducing the risk of postpartum hemorrhage and helping to prepare for that in case it does happen. And so postpartum hemorrhage is one of the top reasons that moms die in the United States after childbirth. And with it being so high in incidence, we want to make sure that we try to identify those moms early if they are at risk. And then we have the equipment, the medications, and the tools.
So you're ready for it.
Right.
Now, what technology or techniques do you utilize to help the labor process itself?
So we have lots of things that we do. We have monitors that allow moms to walk and ambulate. We have waterproof monitors that they can get in the showers with and have water therapy during childbirth. We also are educating our nurses on a new process called spinning babies. And so that
Spitting babies or spinning babies?
Spinning
I've had a
babies.
baby spit at me before. That's why I was asking.
So spinning babies, and it uses different positions to allow that baby to turn and be in the pelvis correctly, and so that birth occurs easier and faster.
I also saw in an email you sent me one day about, you said in quotations, the golden hour. What's the golden hour? Why is that important?
The golden hour is the first hour after birth. And so the baby's very alert and ready to nurse. Usually that's the best time to get breastfeeding started. And so babies are left skin to skin with mom during that time until they feed. And it allows the baby to transition well, and it allows that mom to see the baby that she's been growing for 9 months.
Now, what if a mom requires a C-section and, when surgery's involved like that? Earlier you said, well, we got the same team there, you're in the birthing room, whatever.
Right.
Does this change anything as far as moving people around?
So we're fortunate to have an OR suite right on the birthing center. And so that mom is taken to the OR suite on our unit. We do have the help of our OR staff that are amazing, but they are seeing familiar faces from our unit. Our nurses still attend, the obstetrician is there doing the procedure, and then they go right back to that nice LDRP room for recovery.
Why did you go into this field?
I love it. I was made to do maternal child nursing.
I mean, your parents weren't in healthcare.
No, they were not, but as a small child, I just always knew I wanted to care for moms and babies.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So you had that instinct all along. I just think that's great. You do a great job. Your team does a great job. I appreciate so much what you're
Thank
doing.
you so
Up on
much.
screen, choosenorthern.org is the general website. Choosenorthern.org, and that'll get you to various portals where you can learn about all the things that Joy was talking about. Will you come back and see us sometime?
Absolutely.
All right.
Anytime.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back.
Fly local, fly easy, fly PTI.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, and it's time to have a visit with Mr. Theater. That's the name on his birth certificate, actually. It's not Dave Briggs. No, it is Dave Briggs. Dave Briggs, director of High Point Theater. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Jim.
There are a couple of shows that we want to promote that are really fun and exciting. Now, I want to get that in a minute, I promise, but let me, if you don't mind, let me take a minute. As a director of the theater, I'm being serious now, it seems like year after year, season after season, you offer up these diverse, culturally diverse, musically diverse, stylistically diverse programs. It's like some kind of cornucopia of different things. Now,
Perfect word.
Is that by design? Was there some mission statement that you followed on that? Is it just your good instincts or what?
Well, a little bit of all of that. We're booking for an entire community, and our entire community is quite diverse. So we try to bring in events that we think will feature something for those specific communities. Audiences in general tend to self-segregate. So we're aware of that. So we want to bring in shows that appeal to the Hispanic community, appeal to the jazz lovers, appeal to the folk music lovers,
right.
The dance folks. So there's a real conscious effort made to make sure that our programming is truly diverse and serves all of our population. Of course, we can't truly serve all of our population unless they come to the theater and enjoy their show.
And they're coming to the theater in droves. And of course, I know this is going to sound like a stupid question, but of course, it's just yet one more reason to buy season tickets so that you get a feel for this diversity and really learn some things, right?
Certainly. And one of the things that concerns me as a presenter is when I was a youth, it seemed like we went to whatever was playing because that's what we did.
Right.
A lot of folks now only go to see those things that they know. And I really encourage folks to step out of their comfort zone, go see shows that, man, I don't know about that, but boy, wouldn't it be interesting to see what it's like.
And again,
I think that's
as I'm saying, if you're a season ticket holder, you're going to say, okay, well,
that's right.
I didn't know if I wanted to see this jazz thing, but we got the tickets anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
And so
I've had people say, I would never have come to this if I hadn't had a subscription.
All right, now let's talk about two things coming up. The Players on Saturday, September 23rd, the Players.
The Players, these are three gentlemen who performed with Chicago. Bill Champlin, who was with Chicago for 28 years. Keith Howland was their lead guitarist for many years, and Jeff Coffey was their lead singer for several years.
That's right.
And then Gordon Campbell was a drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire. So these are the real deal.
Yeah.
This is not a tribute band.
Right.
These are the real guys.
Love Chicago.
And so it's going to be the music of Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm really excited about this show.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Now, coming up about 5 days later, on Thursday, September 28th, is the Manhattan Short Film Festival. Now, normally you have people doing concerts and music and things like that, and dance recitals and whatever. This is a film festival?
This is a really cool film festival. It's a one-day event. There are roughly 10 films, not roughly, there will be 10 short films that will be shown, and the audience members that come in to see this pay for their ticket. They're going to actually vote on the best film, the best cinematographer, the best actor, the best actress, and so on. And so we really encourage them. The films are from all around the world: the USA, Australia, Canada, Finland, Iran. They're just amazing, and some of them are very funny. And we just had a sellout crowd for the Napoleon Dynamite show this past weekend. One of the neat things about Napoleon Dynamite, the film, is that it started out as a short movie.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen with these shorts. They may get blown up into a full-length screenplay.
And get to vote on that. Up on screen, one of my favorite, it is my favorite website, highpointtheater.com. It's a great website. It gives you all sorts of information in detail about the schedule, highpointtheater.com. For tickets, the best thing to do, 887-3001. Call 887-3001. Dave Briggs, you going to hang around for the roundtable?
Sure will.
Thank you, sir. We'll be right back after this.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable with a quick shout out to the good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden. The website's on screen. You can come out and see the garden. You can do just about anything out here. Well, yeah, that's legal and all that. You can come out here and we do the roundtable here, and this is certainly legal. With me, on my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. And by the way, he's got an article in O. Henry Magazine. Oh, Henry Magazine. Hold that up. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Dave Briggs held over from the last segment, director of High Point Theater. Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Okay, guys. Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy says college applications should include a 1-mile run as part of a fitness test. Good idea or bad idea, Ogie?
He may eventually have a good idea if he lives long enough.
Is that
what
one of
planet is
them?
that guy from anyway?
I don't know.
Anybody that denies climate crisis I have no respect for.
All right, Dave, what do you think?
It's an interesting concept. Reminds me of the presidential physical fitness thing.
Right.
It would be based on ability. I don't see this ever flying.
College application, you want to get into college, you got to pass a 1-mile run.
How about if you want to get into college, you should have good grades? How about that?
That's right.
Let's go with grades.
That's right.
Physical fitness.
The Federal Stock Act prohibits congressmen from using inside information to profit from stock trades. That's been into effect for a while. But trying to catch somebody on that has been almost impossible because it goes to intent. So now a bipartisan group of senators is proposing a law that would ban all members of Congress from even owning any stocks, even putting them in a blind trust. You okay with that, guys? And will it pass?
No, not a chance. Even if they catch him, they don't convict him. Nothing ever happens.
Right.
Burr, look at Burr.
Yeah.
Nothing, it'll never pass.
Dave?
It would never pass, and anybody who has a 401k couldn't run for office either because 401ks are tied directly to stocks.
Interesting. Keith?
I don't think that you would eliminate many people who could be good senators or congressmen if you take away their initiative for stock. But they need to really indict people who utilize stock.
Inside
information,
Right.
Absolutely.
Virginia has a new law. It requires social media companies to identify if users viewing pornographic material are over age 18. Now, Reddit users are turning in and reporting Christian websites for violating Virginia's new law because they say the Christian websites are citing vulgar passages from the Bible. Should sexual passages from the Bible be banned on social media? Ogie?
Jim, I'm so out of touch with social media. I never have a good answer on that. I think I'll just pass. It's all crazy to me.
All right. Dave, what do you think?
It is a First Amendment issue. I don't know, were they going to ban the book Song of Solomon? I don't think that's going to happen. Are they also going to ban Lady Chatterley's Lover?
I don't know. But in the Bible, as we know, that, I mean, if you want to look, my dad, rest his soul, used to, as a kid, I'm told, look through the Bible for dirty passages and then tell the kids at school about it. That's why he always got in trouble. Keith, what do you think?
I think it's a terrible law, and I think that the people who probably created the law are the ones who are doing this stuff in the first place.
All right. Airlines are always getting complaints about crying babies during a flight, so now a Turkish airline is testing a new seating option. They're setting aside a section of the plane for folks 16 and over, and it'll cost about $50 extra to sit in there. Guys, would you like to see all airlines offer adult-only seating sections? Ogie.
Not to pay $50. I mean, I just wear earplugs. You know, it's a big deal.
All right, so you wouldn't pay the $50?
No.
What do you think, Dave?
I don't see that they have any way at all in that metal tube of actually segregating the audience. It's not going to be soundproof. It's a curtain.
Right. Keith?
I hope they do that, man. I travel a lot.
You do, yeah.
And crying babies, I love babies, but I mean, you can't do anything about it. They should be some way that they can put kids in there.
You can't read, you can't get your work done, you can't sleep.
Impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
All right. Many Publix grocery stores now display a sign that says no pets allowed. They'll only allow service animals, but not emotional support animals. Guys, would you like to see all public establishments allow emotional support animals? Ogie.
I would, Jim. A dear friend of mine has a Rottweiler support animal, and she really needs it. And she, in fact, went on TV and talked about it. And yeah, I see no problem at all with that.
What do you think, Dave?
It sometimes is problematic in a public assembly facility. The animal has to be well maintained, well controlled.
Right. Keith?
When you say emotional, do they have papers for that?
Well, that's been a point of contention. It's a good point, Keith, because now they're saying if you want to be sure, you need to have a doctor's slip that says, you know, Keith needs to have this dog with him at all times, and then maybe they'll bend the rules, but not just if you walk in and say, this is my support animal.
Yeah, you got a Rottweiler inside a restaurant and say, it's emotional support without any papers. That doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely not.
The city of Greensboro is taking bids for a private company to manage the Coliseum and Tanger Center. Are you okay with the private company managing those venues instead of a city employee? Quickly, Ogie.
I don't understand. Is Matt retiring?
Yeah,
Did he get
Matt
booted?
retiring.
So, well, yeah, probably. I'm okay with
Quickly, Dave.
Yeah, this is a real interesting discussion because it actually, I have no problem with them doing the RFP, the RFQ, and so on. This could actually eliminate a lot of employees from the city of Greensboro's roles and send them to a private company.
Which could be bad. Keith, quickly.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. I think they should find somebody in the city and try to keep them employed.
All right. Finally, NASA says that humans will be living and working on the moon within the next 10 years. Guys, would you like to live on the moon, Ogie?
Not even. I'd go to the moon.
But you don't want to live there?
No way. Why would you?
Dave, there might be a theater on the moon.
I lived in Pittsburgh, Kansas. It was a lot like the moon.
Keith, would you like to live and work on the moon?
I like to send some people to work on the moon, but I don't want to go. I got a few people I want to go to the moon and Mars. Can you send them to Mars as well?
Yeah. Yet another reason that we're glad that Keith isn't a judge. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. There's a top tennis player from Greece that's complaining now because she said she lost a big match at the U.S. Open because she was distracted by marijuana smoke coming from the spectators. What really made her mad was all her serves were high. It's a tennis joke. All right, for all of us here, we're going to the moon. I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.